Hello, everybody, and thank you once again for tuning in to TGM Television for our Bible study. It's Wednesday night, and we are in the house. It's good to see you. I'm so excited that you tuned in. Thank you, my Facebook Live crew, for tuning in. Thank you so much. We started a little bit late tonight, but it's okay. You should be here and catch the prelude and the postlude. But since you online, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Before we get into it, I want to remind you guys, go to our website, www.thegodmovement.com. Learn more about our ministry. Watch our Bible studies on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, TGM Television. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at _God Movement. Like our stuff, share our stuff. We have a lot of great word art. We have a lot of great quotes. We have a lot of great inspirational sayings, a lot of videos. Check us out on social media. With that said, we're going to go right into the lesson. Hopefully, I'll be able to stay within my 30-minute limit tonight. But our lesson is going to be something different tonight. So, you guys at home, if you have a pen and some paper, you're going to need that tonight. For my class that is here, I brought some little notepads because I want you guys to write some stuff tonight. We're going to kind of go into the lesson. Here we go. All right. And tonight's lesson, it comes from, what is this scripture? Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. Highly quoted. A lot of people, they say it. And so tonight we're going to go into it. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. All right. Somebody else came into our class. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. My Bible reads a little bit different. If you need more, as I said, you at home, if you're just tuning in, get a pen, get some paper. We have a few exercises that we are going to do tonight. The TGM class is here and they're ready. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. All right. You guys got a pen. You can write that down if you want to. Philippians chapter 4, I'm gonna read it out loud. It's a somewhat familiar passage of scripture. My Bible does read a little bit different. The King James Version will read a little bit different. Keep those notepads handy because I'm gonna ask some questions. Some of them I won't answer, some of them I want you to write. Okay. So tonight's lesson, hopefully it'll be really quick, thought-provoking. Philippians chapter 4, verse number 6 and 7 says, be anxious for nothing. The King James Version says, be careful for nothing, but be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Verse number 7, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, my Bible says comprehension, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Guard your heart and mind from what? Just think of that. Guard your heart and mind from what? That's the first thing that came to my head. All right, with that, tonight's lesson topic is, I want you to say this after me. Say, there will be peace. There will be peace. You can use that as wherever. There will be peace in my life. There will be peace in my home. There will be peace in my relationship. There will be peace in my mind. Say this after me. Say, I will have peace. Tonight's lesson, we are going to talk about peace. Tonight's lesson, we are going to talk about peace, having peace in our lives. Is it possible to have peace in our lives amidst all of the different things that we have going on in our lives? One of the texts that I love about Jesus, he says to his disciples, in this world you will have tribulation. Be of good cheer, for I've overcome the world, but in me you shall have peace. I don't understand how you first tell me I'm gonna have tribulation, and then right behind that you say, but you gonna have peace in me. To me, it don't make sense. How can I have tribulation and peace at the same time? It don't make sense. It seems to not make sense. One of the things that I considered for a long time in my mind is how, and I'm not judging or being critical, but In my mind, I always wonder, have you ever wondered how or why do people that have so much money contemplate suicide? Why would you, if you have all of this money, why, if you have all of this money, why would you want to kill yourself? And it occurred to me that I would never understand, because most of my issues at that time was money. So I was frustrated about money. I was anxious about money. I was worried about money. So I didn't understand how somebody with money could have anxious or be worried or be scared or be unsettled by anything. But it began to get clear to me as I got older that it doesn't matter how much stuff a person has. It don't matter how much money a person has if you have no peace. I want us to consider that. How important is peace to you? The one thing I have come to appreciate more and more in my life is the ability to get to a place where I can find peace of mind. I want you to consider something tonight. Do you have peace in your mind? Do you have peace in your heart? Do you have peace? I want you to ask yourself that question in your mind. Do I have peace? Much of the problem with people is that we have allowed the business of living, remember I said that earlier, to rob us of our peace. The tactic of the enemy, the tactic of the world simply is to steal your peace. Consider that. Everything that the devil has been working to do is just to steal your peace. Now, I'm going to show you as we move through the lesson that lacking peace, what does it drive us to do? Suddenly, now here's a question. Here's a question. All of a sudden, the peace leaves at your job. First, it's settled, it's calm. All of a sudden, something happened, and now it's turmoil, it's agitation at work. Have you ever experienced that? Yeah. Suddenly, the peace leaves in your marriage. Suddenly, the peace leaves in your relationship. Suddenly, the peace leaves in your relationship. Your son, with your daughter, with your husband, with your wife, with your friend, the peace leaves. How do you respond? I want you to write down on those little notepads. How do you respond when things go from being peaceful to chaotic? What do you do? How do you respond when stress hits? When you're caught in tense situations, how do you respond? I want you to write that down. I want you to write it down. And the reason why I want us to write it down is because truthfully, many of us do not respond with faith. And I want you to be honest. These pads, I'm not going to look at them. These pads are for you to consider what it is that you do. How do you respond? How do you respond? Truthfully, many of us do not respond with faith, but we end up seeking peace in things that seem to be able to give us peace. And you may consider that. But once I considered that I smoked cigarettes because they seemed to give me peace. Consider that. I smoked cigarettes because they seemed to give me peace. What I didn't realize was the 5 minutes that it took me to smoke, 6 minutes, 7 minutes that it took me to smoke a cigarette, I was able to clear my head. So was it the cigarette? The cigarette gave me a feeling, but was it the cigarette that gave me peace? You understand what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. How do you respond when stress hits? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you get agitated? Do you blow up? Do you fire off at people? Consider that. How do you respond? Some people drink. Some people have sex. Some people think that peace comes in another. Do you achieve your peace by having somebody around you? Consider that. I want you to write. That's why I want you, because I want you to think about that. Peace. Some people live with it, hoping that it will change. Some people live in situations that are strenuous, hoping that they will change. And I want you to understand something about peace. If you don't have peace, you have a life of turmoil. Sometimes we try to replace things. And I read a book and it said, I'm trying to quote this right, by Stephen R. Covey. It's called The Eighth Habit. And what he said was, borrowed strength builds weakness. Does that make sense? Borrowed strength builds weakness. In other words, if I'm looking for peace in something that is fleeting, I'm always going to be chasing it. Some people find peace by cigarettes. That's why no cigarette is never enough. Some people find peace in liquor. That's why they have to constantly buy the bottle. You understand what I'm saying? Scratch offs. going to the casino. You're going to always do that if you find your peace in these things. You see what I'm saying? I want us to consider how we deal with it. Some people live with stressful environments, live with the stress, deal with because sometimes we so strong. Sometimes we mighty in ourselves. Sometimes we can handle it, we can deal with it, right? Sometimes we can, and we live with it, hoping that it will change. But what you end up with is you end up with a stress buildup. Have y'all ever been in a situation to where you feel like you being strong, but really you have no peace? And you don't understand it, but when you don't have peace, it pushes you. It works like a ticking time bomb. Over time, a life without peace will drive you crazy. I want you to consider that. Do you really have peace in your life? Do you really have peace? Now, here's another question. What has robbed you of your peace? I want you to write it down. What has robbed you of is it financial struggles? Is it a relationship? Is it a boyfriend, girlfriend? Is it money? Is it what has robbed you of your peace? Sometimes we find ourselves stressed over things in life that we ourselves have created. Have y'all ever been there? This is why God has to tell us no to a lot of things that we want, because some of the stuff that we want, we think we'll feel better when we have it, but really it's just going to create more problems. When I was younger, I thought I wanted to get a car. I thought I wanted to have a car note until I realized that the stress associated with paying insurance and paying the car note and keeping the tires rotated and keeping the oil changed, I was not able to afford it. But I felt like I wanted it when really I should have waited. See, sometimes we want things and God tells us no, but we go ahead and get them, not realizing that this thing is going to rob you of your peace. I want you to write down what has robbed you of your peace. We want things that are only going to create more problems in our lives at the moment than we already have. And God is saying no. This is why he tell you don't have sex before marriage. This is why he this is why he tell you to live your life a certain way, because if you step across the boundaries, you then trade your peace for a circumstance that you're not even supposed to be in. Consider what has robbed you of your peace. We don't realize it, but it's possible to trade your peace just so you can fulfill your self-less desire. How many times have you bought shoes that you know was not in your budget, and then at the end of the month, you ain't have grocery money, you ain't have light bill money, you just created some stress in your life. You just created some stress. You just traded your peace for a pair of shoes. Consider that. I want y'all to consider the things that we give away, that we trade out for peace. We'll trade out, this Marcus. I'm a movie fanatic, so I buy DVDs. So I penny pinch, I penny pinch. Okay, I got an extra 20. So I know I need to be holding on to this extra 20. I know I'm going to probably need it for something, but since it's free right now, I'm going to buy something. And I go and I spend $30 on a bunch of movies. And then the next week, they'll be like, God dog it, now I really got a penny pinch because I still need groceries. I still need gas money. How many things have you traded for your peace? I want you to write it down. What do you trade in place of peace? When I say trade it, I mean like stuff. What stuff do you want that you go out your way? You trade your peace to get and have, only to realize that it just creates more stress in your life. Something that you think that you want, you really get it, end up realizing that you really don't want it. God has to tell us no. God has to tell us no. Sometimes we want people. Whoa, God, this is the preach right here. That are only going to create problems and continue to stir up more problems in your life. I call them agents of chaos. Now here's the preach of the lesson right here. I call them agents of chaos. Have you ever wanted somebody in your life only to discover that it was more of a burden to keep the relationship than it was to release the relationship? I want us to consider, when you evaluate, that's the preach right there. When you evaluate the people you are connected to, I want you to write this down. Do they bring peace to your life, or do they bring more problems? Consider the people you are connected to, the friends. Do they bring more peace to your life, or do they bring more problems? Right? Peace or problems? Do they bring more peace, or do they bring more problems? Consider the relationships in your life. Are they unions of peace or are they unions of conflict? Are the relationships, partnerships more of a conflict to keep alive than they are to just go ahead and let them die? Have you ever, this is the Marcus Stewart right here, and I want y'all to get this. This is such a blessing to me because Marcus Stewart wants stuff that Marcus Stewart should not have. The stuff that Marcus Stewart wants, the reason why Marcus Stewart shouldn't have it, I'm talking about me so nobody can get upset. The reason why Marcus Stewart shouldn't have it, because it's going to create more problems. Now, I want something that looks nice, that looks appealing, that feels nice, that smells nice, figuratively speaking, only to get it. Have you ever wanted somebody that only caused problems in your life, but you still wanted them? You wanted somebody up in your life that just to have somebody in your life, but really they cause more problems in your life just by having them. Consider that. Consider the people who you are connected to. Are they people who seek peace or are they more prone to conflict? The people that you connected to, are they peace seekers or are they more prone to conflict? Do they get angry quick? This is the word say. You know, only fools, you hang around with fools that pop off real quick. You gonna be in a bad situation in Proverbs. I'm paraphrasing, but basically it says that. Are the people in your life more prone to peace or are they more prone to conflict? Because whether you know it or not, birds of a feather flock together, and evil communication does corrupt good manners. Evil communication does corrupt good habits. It'll change some things about the people you hang around. If you seeking peace in your life, are they more prone to peace or conflict? It is important. What is it? Count up the yard. That's good. That's good. God may be showing you that it's time to distance yourself from such people who don't seek to promote peace. I want you to write down on your list. This is not for nobody. This is for you tonight. Those little notepads are for you. Write it down. All of the people in your life that you can write down and remember, that you can just count off the top of your head. If you have none, that's a blessing. Count off the people in your life that do not bring peace, seek peace, or create peaceful environments. I want you to write down all the people. You can put their name, you can put their initial or whatever, but write them down, the people who are in your life that are not peaceful people, who do not consider peace, but are more prone to conflict. I want you to consider that. God may be showing you it's time to distance yourself from such people who don't seek or promote peace. Write down people who don't promote peace in your life. Yes. Write it down. If it's sister, brother, uncle, aunt, cousin, friend, loved one, no matter who it is, write it down. I want you to write it down because I want us to see something. I want you to write it down because I want us to see something. I want us to see something. It's important that we choose our connections carefully because a life without peace is a life full of turmoil. I want you to get that in your head. If you do not have a life of peace, you have a life of stress and turmoil. All right. What if I told you that in choosing one, it would automatically eliminate the other one? That's for the end of the lesson right there. That's for the end of the lesson. What if I told you that in choosing one, you automatically eliminate the other? You buy them shoes that you ain't supposed to buy, you'd automatically eliminated your peace. As opposed to not buying the shoes, you have automatically welcomed in peace. By having this person in your life, you automatically welcome in peace as opposed to, by having this person in your life, you automatically welcome in turmoil as opposed to deciding to have peace and relinquish the relationship. Consider that. Consider all the things that we trade for our peace. So then it begs the question, how important is it to have peace to you? How important is it for you to have peace? Yeah, and one of the ladies in the class said it's very important. But how often do you show it? See, this one thing, we don't learn to appreciate peace until we get older. Because when we're young, we just want what we want. We're young. If we got the money to buy, we buy. We don't understand why mama said no. And mama said no because it's going to cause you more problems to keep it than it is for you to not have it. I got grown and I wanted to have furniture that I could not afford. So I had a monthly note. And the monthly note was more aggravating than me sitting on the couches. So I had to let them couches go. Come on, somebody. Because the point of it is, if I got couches, the couches is there for me to relax. But I'm relaxing on couches and I ain't got no peace because they steady calling me about the bill. You just need to go ahead and go. Because I can, you know what? Because it ain't no point in me having a couch if I ain't got no peace. I can't relax on the couch. I got a chair. For a long time, I had a chair in my living room. The chair, I had more peace with one chair, no couches in my living room because I had peace. That one chair brought me more peace than a whole living room full of furniture. Consider, what have you traded? How important is peace in your life? How important is, what have you traded? What have you gave up? What do you have? It was so peaceful when the weeks rolled by and nobody was blowing my phone up about money. About, we gonna need you to pay for these couches, young man. We're gonna need you to pay for this table. I didn't have nobody breathing down my neck. It created an environment of peace. We learn to appreciate peace the older we get. There are some things that we would tolerate when we was younger that as we got older, we just, let me can I marketize it right quick? There are some people that I tolerated when I was younger. But as I got older, like, brother, I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how big your booty is or whatever. For women, how big your chest is, how fine you are. It got to the point where it don't matter. If you don't bring peace in my life, I can't fool with you. It took me time before I recognized the value of having peace in my life. And how important is it to have peace in my life? I got to the point where I said, if this person does not promote peace, then I'm going to be without him just to have my peace. Because I will not, there is no way that I'm going to be outside dealing with this, dealing with that, especially for those people who are married. If you married or you got you a boyfriend or a girlfriend and you ain't got peace in your relationship, I question you, why are you with them? Why? This person is supposed to be your peace. This person is supposed to be your comfort. If you at home and you have no peace in your marriage, you need to pray for that. We getting there. But I want you to understand, what have you traded for your peace? What have you let go for your peace? What have you brought into your life that destroys or disturbs your peace? What have you allowed to come in that has upset your peace, and you sitting there and you don't understand why you having the headaches, why you having the frustration, why you are easily annoyed? It's because there is no peace in your life. And I want you to consider, write it down. What have you traded for your peace? What have you traded? What will you trade for your peace of mind? I got to this point. I asked myself, what will I trade for my peace of mind? Loneliness. A lot of people have somebody just so they can have somebody, but they cause more problems up in their life just to have somebody. Are you tolerating somebody just to have somebody? Question that. You want somebody so bad that you traded your peace to have a body around, when really this body is not giving you no peace. It's not significant to have somebody if there is no peace between the two of you. Does that make sense? Have you traded your peace just to have somebody in your life? Have you? Have you traded your peace? It's getting hot in here. I feel God. Have you traded your peace just to have somebody in your life? All right. So now here's the question. How do I bring peace back into my life? How? You have to be the agent of your own peace. I want you to write that. I have to be the agent of my own peace. I got to be the agent of my own peace. I got to be the one to set the standard of what I will allow and what I will not allow in my life. I have to be the one to say, is this decision going to cause me more peace or more pain? I have to be the one to make that decision. If I buy this on impulse, will this cause me more peace or more pain? If I do this, thinking. If I do this, if I get this right here, will it cause me more peace or will it cause more pain? If I get this job, will this be more peace or more pain in my life? You have to be the agent of your own peace of mind. We have to be people, agents of peace. Choose peace. Make decisions that ensure peace when possible. Temporary peace. It's like getting drunk. That night you crying, you sad, so you decide you're going to get a buzz going. And while you buzzing, you feel good. But the next morning, the sadness is still there. So it did pacify it for the moment. But ultimately, does it really bring you peace? And I want us to consider that. Make decisions that ensure peace in making commitments. Have you committed to something that is a constant turmoil? Some of us just married the wrong people. Some of us just in relationship with the wrong people. And I know somebody's going to say, you shouldn't say that. You should say, no, the truth is that sometimes we make rash commitments that we did not count up the cost to make. Hence, Marcus Stewart buying the furniture. I didn't consider the commitment. I didn't consider what it would cost. And ultimately, the cost ended up being too much for me to bear, and it robbed me of my peace. In making commitments, in making, I got it. In making commitments, are these choices that are going to bring peace, or are they going to bring pain? The wisdom in picking our battles, this is especially for married people. Every situation is not an opportunity for conflict. It's not just for married people. This is for everybody. The wisdom in picking our battles. And this is why you have to evaluate the people who you are around. The people that you have in your life, are these people who have the wisdom to pick their battles? Do they pop off at every little bitty thing? Is your character or attitude, is it seeking peace, or is it seeking problems? Everything is not meant for you to respond to with an attitude. The wisdom of picking our battles. Every situation is an opportunity for conflict. This is especially for married. This is for married people too. Everything is not an argument. We should be able to get an understanding some of the time. Come on now. Come on now. I want us to consider having peace. We got to be agents of our own peace. Consider that. Consider that. The wisdom of picking our battles. It's our job. We have to pray for the wisdom to know when to stand and fight and when to seek peace. I've become the agent of peace in my own life. Say this: I will have peace in my life. I seek resolutions that bring cooperation instead of conflict. I want you to consider that. There are some resolutions that go beyond conflict to cooperation. This is the kind of things that I started praying for. I started getting people in my life, and you watch it. I had to be the agent of my own life's peace. I started allowing people to stay in my life who brought peace to my circle. If I have peace in my own circle and I get around you and something is disturbed, maybe I need to back up. Because at the end of the day, if the resolution does not bring cooperation, then it brings conflict. And I wanted to make sure that my life would be a life of peace. I will have peace. There will be peace in my life. There will be peace. Say that after me. Say, there will be peace in my life. There you go. There will be peace. I had to turn my mind off from just having somebody around, just to have somebody. And I started looking at the quality of the person. Does this person really add value to my life? Does this person actually really bring a peaceful presence into my life? Especially for you men that's looking for women, you women that's looking for men. If you had a rough day, would you want to go and be with this person after a rough day? That's the kicker. Yeah. That's the kicker. I started noticing there was a lady friend. I'm not going to call her by name, but I thank God for her. But after a rough day, I'm not one of those people that's very social. But I started noticing that there were certain people after a rough day I wanted to gravitate towards to be around. Because the presence was just a peaceful presence. If I wanted to be by myself, that's one thing. But if I wanted to go out and be social, there were people who I noticed that I would want to gravitate around. Why? Because the atmosphere was a peaceful atmosphere. And then you will know after a rough day, from the time you woke up to the time you got off work, if your day was strenuous and you ran into traffic and they didn't get your order right, and then you consider your boyfriend, your baby, your sweetheart, do you want to be with this person after a day like that? And that will tell you whether this is a relationship of peace or conflict. Because at the end of the day, if I can't find peace with the person that I'm with, I probably don't need. So Paul says this in 29 minutes and 9 seconds. Paul says, stress about nothing. Stress about nothing, but pray about everything. I want you to know this. Prayer and planning will eliminate worry, anxiety, and stress in your life. I want you to write that down. Prayer and planning will eliminate worry, anxiety, and stress in your life. This is what he said. The peace of God that passes all understanding will keep your heart and mind. Will guard your heart and mind. Guard your heart and mind from what? Stress, worry, anxiety. Prayer and planning will help eliminate worry, anxiety, and stress in your life. Prayer and planning. Then I move to when Paul said, the peace of God which passes. This is what Paul says. He says, pray about everything. Let your request be made known to God. In other words, tell God about it. Right? With thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God. Tell God about it. And the peace of God that passes understanding will guard your heart and mind. What is the peace? The peace comes in the assurance that God will answer my prayers. That's where my peace comes from. This just for me. The assurance of answered prayer will keep your heart and mind from worrying and stressing. Because once I talk to God about it, I know I got my big private eye investigator on the case. I know my ultimate insurance policy is working on my case. So that brings me peace. I don't know about y'all, but I get peace in knowing that God hears my prayer. It helps me to deal with things a little bit better, knowing that because I talk to God about it, God is going to handle it. This is why I said the peace of God that passes understanding will keep your heart and mind, because it passes my understanding, because we are used to things on the outside affecting what goes on the inside. We are used to being affected by our world, but we are not used to making an effect in our world. And I want you to consider that. And this goes beyond just peace. You know, there are things, when I say be agents of your own peace, I want you to be agents of your own future. Be agents of your own success. Be agents of your own happiness. Be agents of your own life. The understanding is when you stop waiting on life to tell you what it is that it wants you to do, and you start dictating to your life, that's when life is going to change for you. That's when you're going to start having peace, when you demand, I will have peace in my life. No matter who got to go, no matter what got to move, I'm going to have some peace. If I got to get rid of all my furniture, I'm going to have some peace. If I got to break up with my boyfriend, my girlfriend, I'm going to have some peace. If I got to sleep in my bathroom, I'm going to have some peace. I want to tell you something. The value of peace cannot be measured by money. It cannot be measured by stuff. It cannot be measured by people that you have around. Without peace, your life is filled with turmoil. I want us to consider that. It comes through us understanding that God will answer our prayer. Peace that passes understanding. It's difficult to understand how a person can be calm when things happen that would upset anyone else but you. For those of us that believe in God, people look at us and call us crazy when we're not going crazy, when stuff is going crazy. You ain't mad? I like the way you put that. Somebody do something to you and you just in there, it's all good. Like, what? You ain't mad? It passes your understanding how I still have peace when this person just said this or did this to me. But you know why? Because here's what I discovered. That when God said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. You know what? I ain't got to get mad, because you just don't know the prep. You see, and this is why, you know what, when God started moving against people, I had to start praying, God, I'm not praying that you do nothing to them. But did you see what they just did to me? You see what I'm saying? When you know you got a God on your side, it'll give you some peace. Just, I ain't got to fuss, I ain't got to cuss, I ain't got to scream, I ain't got to lose my temper, because the God I serve, He watching. You understand what I'm saying? The peace of God that passes all understanding will keep your hearts and mind. For those of us who do believe in the power of God, we have a quiet assurance that God will answer our prayers. That gives me peace to know that God will answer. Yes, go ahead, Facebook Live. That's right. That's right. Here's the conclusion of the lesson at 33 minutes and 44 seconds. Pray about it and plan for it. I want you to write that down. Pray about it and plan for it. All right, so with that, I've asked you to write some things down on your list. I've asked you to write some things down to some people. Now, some stuff I told you to write just so you can keep it in your head. But some stuff I want, pray about it and plan for it. Now, I want us all to do this, and I'm glad that you are still on. The lesson is done, but I have a word for you and everybody in here tonight. I want you to take 15 minutes out of your day every day to pray and plan. 15 minutes to pray and plan. 15 minutes to pray and plan. Give God an opportunity to talk to you, and you talk to God. and then ask God for strategies, and he'll start giving you strategies and plans for different things in your life. It starts right there. All right. Pray about it, plan for it. Now, I've asked you to write some things down. I've asked you to write some people's names down. I've asked you to write some things that robbed you of your peace. Right? I've asked you to write these things down. Now, what are we going to do with these things that we have wrote down? I want you to look at them, and I want you to consider all of the stuff that you wrote down that robs you of your peace, that you have traded for your peace. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question as I close. Are you willing to let those things go in order to get your peace back? Everything that you wrote down, if it's your baby daddy, if it's your baby mama, your sweetheart, your boo-boo, your baby, are you willing to let the stuff go? Whatever you wrote down, are you willing to let that go to have your peace back? Are you? Are you? Because if you're not, you're gonna have turmoil for a long time. So with that, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this lesson blessed you. I'm a little hot, but God gets the glory. Thank you guys, my Facebook Live crew, for tuning in. We will be same channel next Wednesday night. Please tell somebody about us. Watch all of our Bible studies on our YouTube channel. It's called TGM Television. Thank you guys once again for watching. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at @the_God Movement. And go to our website. Find out more about our church, about our ministry. We are a new church in Houston, Texas. Our service is at 8 o'clock in the mornings on Sundays. We early in and early out. We are a small but growing church. And I guarantee you God will touch and change your life if you allow him to. So connect with us, partner with us, join us for our service. And we welcome you to be back with us next week. God bless you and God bless you. Thank you for tuning in.